You're tuned into News Across the Galaxy, where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
What a ball from Ricky Peach.
News across the galaxy. Keep on nagging, guys. Your six-time MLS Cup champion, LA Galaxy.
The LA Galaxy win 2 in a row for the first time this season. What an accomplishment. My name is Bryant Lobos, and welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. My two hosts tonight, Edgar Zuniga. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, it's been a weekend hanging out with a 5-year-old. Really wears you down. But I'm here. Let's go.
Lovely. Eddie, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good. This is why I don't hang out with 5-year-olds. One, it's weird. Two, they tie you up. But no, good, funny story. You know, as you can see, I'm wearing this lovely jersey, and
we can't see it. Thank you for not showing it.
Oh, you finally decided to get it out of the closet once a year, right?
Whoa, come on. Whoa.
You remember your Chelsea fan? You're like, only for special occasions, right?
You know what's funny? I love this jersey. I love this jersey so much. Just because I think it's dope. Like, you know, if you put your hatred aside, the way I have it with the Club World Cup from 2021 patch, and like just like the design of it and the colors, I've taken this to music festivals and people are just like, "Oh my god, your jersey number 3, Dale Earnhardt." I'm like, no, you fucking idiot, it's a Chelsea jersey. But yeah, it's or what else did I get? Not Tyler. Chance the Rapper had the number 3 too. Like.
Wait, hold on. Do people think it's a NASCAR jersey?
I've gotten Dale Earnhardt and I've gotten
hell yeah, Dale Earnhardt
and Chance the Rapper, because of the 3, because he had that time when he had the logo, he was wearing that hat all the time.
Hey, go ahead. Modelo, get up your seat, show the fans the shirt.
This is the loudest chair that ever existed, so I don't want to move too much.
Well, I was about to ask. Is there actual NASCAR jerseys that you could buy?
No, I don't think so.
All the jackets, no?
Yeah, they sell more jackets and like baseball style button-ups usually.
Ooh, I'm kind of down to get one. That sounds
because they use jumpsuits, so they're fucking expensive.
I do have I have a Dale Earnhardt cap. I wear it sometimes.
So we got caught up in that deep conversation earlier, so I didn't get to tell this part of the story. So we're in this jersey. It's funny because I'm like, man, I gotta eat something real quick because I had a busy day and it's like I gotta do the show. I'm on my way home. I was like, I'm gonna have Chipotle. It's on my way. I didn't even want Chipotle first. I was like, it's whatever. It's just on my way. And I walk into Chipotle and I open the door, and 3 guys start clapping. I'm like, what the hell? and this is the dopest part. I order my food, and then there's 2 guys, and they're like, you tell him. No, you tell him. Hey, man, this one's on us because of the dope-ass jersey. I'm like, all right.
They asked you for your number?
Nah.
No, fuck those guys.
No tengo pegue como el Brian. You kidding me? For free Chipotle, I'd probably do worse things.
I've done worse things for less. All right.
Seriously.
Anyway, well, if you guys are welcome to the show, everybody. For everybody in here, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at News Across the Galaxy. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube. Also follow us on Instagram, News Across the Galaxy, and let's get the show started. Let's get it started with something. Oh shit! By me dropping my phone, and then us talking about something light. Evolution. How did you guys like today's pay-per-view? Eddie, I know you were pretty happy about today's pay-per-view.
It was good. I'll be honest, it's like the second half of it, but I mean, I heard like the beginning was great, but everything I saw was fucking great. I know people get tired of the wrestling talk, so I'll make it quick. I just think the EO and Ripley was a classic.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
I thought the cash-in was great. Well, spoiler alert for everybody that's hasn't watched it. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think the women's royal battle was pretty good. The fact that you
Battle
had
Royale, you fucking
whatever it
nerd,
was,
say right.
Royale,
Nerdo.
Stephanie Becerra winning it.
What are you fucking Borat? Royal Battle?
Very
Royal
nice,
battle.
very nice.
The Royal Battle is
The royal
nice.
battle is nice. That one was good. I thought the Tiffany and Trish was kind of whatever, but
Oh, that's
overall,
where it came in. That's where it came in. It ended well though.
yeah. Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. The one I really did enjoy was the AEW All In. My favorite match of the night was the Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. If you guys want to watch an actual wrestling match that's filled with nothing but great spots throughout the whole thing and a great storytelling, by the way, in the match, you watch that one. That is what pro wrestling is. Anyway, Edgar, did you have any thoughts on Evolution or any of the wrestling that we saw this weekend?
Well, the chances that I did get to watch were few and far between, but when I did see it from Evolution, I really liked. Surprise,
Oh yeah, you
surprise!
did.
The ladies are so talented that they can put on these amazing matches when
Yep.
they're not rushed and when they get the space to do so. So I'm not surprised at all. Every match was entertaining in one way or another. That last match was incredible. The cash in was awesome.
Yeah.
Good for her, man. Good for Naomi. The one thing that trips me out is always like before we came on, I was like, it just came across a post where apparently somebody asked Triple H, hey, can we have this, more often? Can you make it an annual thing? He's like, oh, I don't think so. He goes, I don't know where. I don't know. We're gonna make it an annual thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like a slam dunk, dude.
I love. Oh, go ahead. I wanted to touch on that. I know I cut you off because it's funny because I was listening to that post and that press conference, whatever. And what a political answer and great that Triple H, the way he answered it. He goes like, "Oh, the women do so great. I don't think they have to have their own event. They're just like superstars now. But yeah, they get like one macho event.
Yeah.
it's like there's no reason to do this all the time because they're just part of the regular roster. Like, well, then give them more matches then." Not just one to them.
Yeah. One of the things that I have been enjoying about the women's division, dude, is that there's a lot of talent. And there's been times where we've seen the women main event WrestleMania and has been amazing. One of the first matches that I thought was great was the Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks in Hell in a Cell. That kind of set the standard. And then from there on out, I mean, they've set the standard. When they start the show, they set the standard for the shows. And so hopefully we get more evolutions.
Let's move it on. And just in case you're out there judging, like you guys watch wrestling, just know we watch it for the plot.
A lot of plot, especially Chilean. In my case, a lot of Chilean plot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Alexa Bliss plot.
Jade Cargill plot. Anyway, we do have some super chats before we get into the LA Galaxy stuff. From Adam, the first one. Thank you once again for your $2. There you go. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Eddie. Austin has been shut out in 3 of their past 5 games.
Yeah.
Is that
I mean,
you know what?
We love to break streaks,
just real
baby.
quick. I'll touch on that real quick because something horrible happened to them over the weekend. They lost Brandon Vasquez. He's done. He's done for the season. He tore his ACL, non-contact injury.
Oof.
And so he's gonna need knee surgery. He'll be out for the season. My God, they spent like $10 million on this guy. Eddie and I were talking about it before at the Galaxy match. It's like, wow, first of all, that's a big investment on somebody who still hasn't hit his ceiling. So you're like, that's a lot of money to pay for him. But at the same time, what a gamble. And then he suffers this horrible injury and he's out, and they're already struggling to score goals. Oh, man. And then guess who they play next?
Hopefully points. Yay.
Yeah.
I mean, them having a bad stretch of 5 matches should benefit us, but It's something we could probably talk about in the midweek show. We'll let you guys know if we have something at the end of the show. There is a second super chat from Adam as well. Chewy.
Super chat.
Do you guys do you guys think the referee was too soft for not pulling cards when he should have for this match? I'm guessing.
I don't recall. I don't think so. I can't think of much complaints. I think he was pretty fair with the yellow cards.
Yeah, I usually do a ref report, but I just did not get a chance to do it for a couple of reasons. The first one is I stated several weeks ago, the pro website has been flagged for phishing, so it's like you can't even access that damn website. And then pro is so weird. They don't release the ref assignments until literally hours before the game. And at that point, my personal life, I had stuff going on, and I didn't have an opportunity to just sit there and do the research and put it together. But from what I can tell you, because I've saw Tim Ford's name, that's the referee Tim Ford, on our MLS media chat. I know the Seattle fans were talking crap about him. They absolutely loathe Tim Ford. So he has history with some other teams. You know how some people like with Galaxy, you mentioned so and so, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, not John Freeman," right?
Yeah.
Well, for Seattle, this is their John Freeman. They absolutely hate this guy for some reason or other. But yeah, Tim Ford, I didn't think he did a bad job. It seemed like he was pretty fair. I mean, granted, both teams are going through their struggles right now. So
before you address the super chat, I had to give Edgar a little bit of advice. Edgar, when you lead in on your stories, be careful, because you started talking and you were like, something terrible happened to Austin. They lost Brandon Vasquez. I was like, oh,
is that terrible?
He was dead. He was like, no, but I thought he was dead for a second. They lost Brandon Vasquez. I'm like, oh damn.
You know what that
just tore his ACL.
You know what? You're right. I should watch what I say, because there are other bigger issues going on in Central Texas right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so to put it into context. So yeah, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of do you remember the article that they put out about Charlie Davies? Edgar? Charlie Davies in Deadly Crash.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
I remember that.
And it was like, someone died. We laughed, but somebody died. But the headline made it seem like Charlie Davies had died. I was like, what?
And it was in a moment where Charlie Davies was balling. He was having a great time with the U.S. national team as well. Oh, Charlie Davies, he was dope.
That was such bad timing.
Also, I want
to
what Edgar was you know how you mentioned that? It reminds me of that doctor from Family Guy when he tells him
this is terrible.
Yeah. And
sorry guys.
No, you're good.
I'll be more careful with my words.
For someone so smart when it comes to words, Edgar.
Hey, dude, it's Sunday at the end of a busy weekend.
But you know what? let me turn that around. Let me turn it into a positive for Edgar. And shout out to Edgar who put me on game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, the crusty dog. Yes.
Hey, make him say he hates me.
I'm Krusty the Clown, and I love you very
When I pulled the string, that dude said, I hate you.
Problems? Call 1-800, don't sue. Lovely. That's beautiful.
There you go. That's Eddie's new avatar.
Yeah, so I'm gonna recreate it, like a model, like the scene where Homer's in the tub and he comes out with the knife.
Yeah.
I'm gonna redo it on my tub.
What? Days from now, we're gonna hear like Eddie disappeared. He's like, what? The crusty doll's missing.
I'll let you handle it. Something terrible happened in the tub.
He slipped. All right, so I think now we can address the super chat from Adam. He mentions, do you guys think Vasquez...
God.
Do you guys think...
Well, there he goes.
Do you guys think Vasquez was a bust for the record they paid for?
I think that's a loaded answer because you're not going to turn down 10 million. I mean, he doesn't see it, but a team's not going to turn down 10 million. It's not his fault they paid 10 million, but I think he is a bust. He was destined to be a bust at that price. Edgar, can you talk about some of the people you talked about yesterday and what they paid for them compared to Vasquez 10 million?
What do you mean what they paid for him?
You
I
mentioned
mean,
like
Austin paid like $10 million. Oh, well,
yeah.
No, when you put it into,
what does 10 million? What should 10 million get you?
No, I think I was putting the comparison to what other teams spent for players. Like Atlanta shelled out $25 million pretty much to bring in Latte Love and to bring in Miguel Almiron, and they both have been busts for them. There's a reason why they're like near the bottom in the East. Um, and then you have Brandon Vasquez. Austin paid like $10 million for this guy, and there he is. I mean, not only was he not scoring goals, of course he scored in the Galaxy, right? But he wasn't scoring goals, and now he goes down this really bad injury, and it's something that when we had Dave Johnson on, we talked about it for a bit, and it was like, yeah, it sucks for Austin. But this is a guy who's always been on the U.S. men's national team radar, and it's somebody that he's going to become a valuable asset at some point. To have an injury like this right before the World Cup year, if he's going to even be in that 26-man roster, it's going to be a really big uphill climb for him. But if you're an Austin fan right now, you're just shaking your head.
Is it fair to say? I think we're all Vasquez fans, right?
Yeah.
We're Vasquez fans, right?
Yeah.
We want to see him do well, yeah.
Yeah, is it fair to say that move was kind of bad all around, right? I think it was overpaid, puts that pressure, and I don't want to call it a step back, going to MLS, but I think when you leave MLS to go to Liga MX and you come back so soon, it has that feeling of a step back.
I don't know. I mean, he did well for Monterrey. It wasn't like he was bad there. I know he had a good start, and then he kind of just tailed off. And then, can you fault him for wanting to come back to the U.S. right before the World Cup year so he could spend more time here? And then
no, I don't fault him. But I'm asking your opinion. I'm not asking can you fault him. I was just asking how you feel.
I mean, but he could have stayed in Mexico and done the same thing because the World Cup's going to be on this side of the hemisphere regardless. So he could have stayed out there.
So what do you think?
I think Austin was trying to do something really big to try to bounce back because people were saying you guys had such a great start, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna go out and get a guy that's young, that's we think is gonna have a really amazing season in MLS. He proved his mettle in Liga MX, so bring him in, and unfortunately, he just wasn't getting the kind of service that he needed. Where have we seen that, right? You have great talent, and they just don't get the service. And then he gets down with this really bad injury. So it sucks. Overall, it sucks for everybody involved.
Well, yeah, because you have Sebastian Drusi, who was your number one, creator, leave the squad, and then you bring in Vasquez, who needs that creation to put him in his space and score. And I think Austin took a gamble on that. And to Adam's question, is Vasquez underrated or overrated? When he was here at first, I think he was underrated. Showed his worth in Mexico. I think came back and now he's probably overrated because of the price tag. Because of the price tag. Yeah,
it's not fair. Again, you're not going to turn it down.
Yeah,
but it seems like a little unfair, right? It's like,
and Austin took a gamble on that. Austin took a gamble on that, and it didn't work out.
Hey, we're all complaining. It could be worse. We could be Austin.
We could be Austin.
So it's interesting. I'm looking at his statistics, right, for this season. And then MLS, 19 matches, only 5 goals. And Open Cup, right, where they're playing, different teams at different levels, he had 3 matches, had 4 goals and 1 assist. But you're measured by what you do in MLS, and so 5 goals and 19 matches for what they paid for him. Yeah,
but the thing is too that's Austin's. That's kind of Austin's fault too. Again, Vasquez fan. Speaking as a Vasquez fan and knowing what he can give you, you got to give him the service. Yeah, I don't think Austin had it.
Well, not without Sebastian. Without Sebastian, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, if you have Driussi and
Vasquez, then you're
yeah. So
anyway, moving on.
This is not an Austin podcast.
Yeah, this is not. Tune in for the midweek show. All right, guys. July 12th, the LA Galaxy faced a classic rival in DC United at Dignity Health Sports Park. But before the match, how are you guys feeling coming into this match? I know the LA Galaxy won a convincing win against Vancouver Whitecaps, who have been red hot in MLS. Convincing win 3-0. Coming into this match this weekend against a DC United team that's been struggling to say the least. How are you guys feeling before the match?
Eddie, go first.
Confident because DC's ass.
Yeah.
And I think the Galaxy's like in a slow up, especially at home. And then I think what made me extra confident was listening to According to the Galaxy and not really have put any thought of what having Ricky on the field, even at practice, even if he's not playing, does too. And I was like, this guy, like, it's like almost perfect timing. They're already kind of up, and then you plugged in Ricky. He's a character. We saw him at the celebration, so you can only imagine what he's like behind closed doors. So I think that gave me the confidence, like, all right, something is changing, right? Something's going to change here. This is definitely going to help them. There's going to help them morale in the locker room. And by the way, I jump ahead of myself. I like to see these people and always think about like what's going on in the locker room. I see how they act with each other and stuff. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell between Painshill and Peck because they're like on opposite sides of the field. I don't know if you saw that cool story that Peck posted. He tagged Painshill. He's like holding Paintshill's baby. Like, I'm assuming it's his baby or something related to Painthill somehow because he tags Painthill and he's holding the baby. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's cute.
Yeah. So
Real
they're getting along. Right?
Real homies. What about you, Edgar? How were you feeling before this match? I know we had the midweek show with legendary voice Dave Johnson of DC United, and we were fortunate enough to have LA Galaxy legendary voice Joe Tutino on. How were you feeling before the match?
I felt like, listening to them talk about it, it's funny. Both of them predicted a 2-2 draw, and I could see it, right? I was like, both teams are struggling, and they're really hungry to get points, and they're just going to cancel each other out. Galaxy should have had the advantage going into the match, but then DC got rid of their manager, and so they got a benefit from that new manager bump. And so I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be a draw, but I'm not gonna. I know the team has let us down in the past in games that they should have won, so I was not expecting a win. Funny thing, hours before the match, I was listening to our buddy Bob Ventimiglia. They were trying to preview the match, right? They're like, because they do odds, and him and his two buddies on the designated pundits were like, okay, let's talk about the odds in this game. And they're like, what the hell? They're like, Vegas had the Galaxy favored to win the match. So they're like, that's weird, because they're like, the whole season Galaxy has been like, has been favored to lose, and now they're favored to win at home. And they're like, usually they're like, you could just, you could put money down on the Galaxy and you're gonna get it back no matter what. But he goes, but at this time, this is the 1 week where you put money in the Galaxy, you're definitely gonna lose it. So they were confused. They're like, I don't know, this is weird. I don't see Galaxy winning. None of them saw Galaxy winning, and I was just like, yeah, I don't see them winning either. So
they tricked you into believing that the LA Galaxy was not going to win because they've been favorites for the first time. And to top it off, I mean, spoiler alert, the LA Galaxy won, and this is their third win this season. First time back to back, by the way.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention one thing that was fascinating to me too was that I told Dave Johnson, I was like, damn, like the DC United has not beaten the LA Galaxy at home in 20 years.
Yeah.
Since 2005. And we saw how Freddie Adu scored the game-winning goal, and a very young Nick Raimondo got the shutout.
Yeah. You know what I would have said if I was a DC fan? It's like, it just came to my head right away. Oh yeah, when's the last time you guys beat us in an MLS Cup?
Oh, when was the last time they beat us in the CONCACAF Champions Cup match? Oh,
no, that's true.
Hell yeah. Because you know why it so comes to my mind so fast, and I have that come back in my head because it still fucking hurts, dude. That's why
we haven't been able to beat them. And
both of them hurt, man. Oh god.
By the way, the first and we're up 2-0. The other one, Hartman kicks the floor.
By the way, I felt surreal producing the show by having Dave Johnson and Joe Totino on the pod. Dude, just hearing them, those legendary voices, have a chatter about how it was back in the '96. When they first started MLS and how it was the rivalry between the LA Galaxy and DC United. Um, it brought a lot of joy to my heart. So if you guys have a chance to go back and listen to the episode and just hear these legendary voices talk to each other about how it was back in the days, make sure to do that because it was a really cool experience. So I am grateful to Edgar for having the courage to hit him up and to actually have them on. So thank you, Edgar, for that. Getting to the stadium, and this is gonna pertain to Adam's question in the super chat. He asked your thoughts on the supporters' silent protest. When you guys got into the match, what was the feeling inside the stadium when you guys sat down on your seats? I'll start with you.
Right before. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna ask you first, actually.
I got there a little late. It seemed like a cool time. It was different, definitely, but it was different in good ways too. Where the whole SpongeBob thing was kind of new, and it was there was a lot of cool little things, right? So the atmosphere was happy. It was cool. It was very like I'm just walking around right here in my head, But the first thing I see is like the pineapple, and I'm like, oh, the pineapple under the digs, whatever. Anyways, yeah, and then me and Edgar giddy when we see SpongeBob in the full costume on the screen. We're like, my God. And then of course the excitement of our good friends, Diego, Julie, the Sarabia family being the fans of the night.
Yeah, shout out to Sarabia family. That was really cool.
A lot of happiness, a lot of God bless those kids, huh, Edgar? There's a lot of kids sitting by us that made it a little difficult.
Oh my God, those kids. Yeah, it was like.
So me and Edgar were not missing noise. I'll tell you that much.
What about you, Edgar? How did you feel? What was the feeling that you had coming inside the stadium and seeing what the atmosphere was?
I was very receptive to what was going on around me. So I got to experience like a wide range of emotions from not just fans, but just from the stadium itself, where there were some people that were tailgating and it was very jovial and they were really happy to just be there and be around with friends and family at the match. It's like a tradition for a lot of people to be out there and tailgate. I got to hang out with the IE Galaxy fans again. They're really nice. They before the match, and then I went in to the supporters areas, and the vibe was interesting. It wasn't as packed as it usually is. I know in the Lars area, people were singing "Happy Birthday" to one of the members, and that was really nice. I'm sitting there with a beer in one hand, talking to our buddy Steve and Ma, and then somebody offered me birthday cake, and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, that was my dinner at the time. It was like birthday cake, and then I go to the other side, and it's really quiet, and I'm like, "Wow, okay." So it's hard to ignore what's going on, obviously, because there's different emotions that are in flux at the stadium. You have some people that feel it's like a cloud is hanging over everything, and you can understand it. And then you have people that are there to watch the match and hope that the team does well. They seem to be on the upswing, so you got to see that as well. And then of course it was really weird because it was also pups at the pitch night. People are there with their doggies, and then you also had the whole SpongeBob thing. So it was a swirl of different emotions. And then to top it off, obviously, Eddie and I are sitting there, like where I normally sit, and there was like a bunch of kids behind us, and they were just screaming and yelling about every weird thing. And it turns out one of them was an LAFC fan, and he was cheering for DC, and the other kids were trying to shut him up. And then Eddie and I we're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna go over there. We're gonna go somewhere else. And
I had to hold Edgar back from beating up that little LAFC fan kid.
Oh my God!
And that LAFC fan kid threw a soda at him.
Well, it's already on the way out, right? We're walking out. There were two kids, like they were in the row, and one of them offered one of the kids a Sprite, and the other kid's like, "Don't give me that," and slapped the Sprite out of his hand, and the Sprite exploded everywhere.
Damn
I didn't
kid.
get hit, but the kids sprayed each other
Oh,
with
excellent.
Sprite, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, kids." And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh no!"
They got scolded by an
I'm like, "What
adult.
you do to that?" I was like, "What you do to that poor Sprite, man?"
Got
And I was like,
scolded by.
"It was a Pepsi, that's okay, but you gotta hit a Sprite. Come on, leave the Sprite alone." But but
Anyway,
yeah, other than that, it was funny. We got to see, like I said, SpongeBob, and Eddie was really sad because he didn't get to see Patrick. But then we saw him in a picture later on, and he was like, "Yay, Patrick was here!" So
Another two more things to point out. I think.
all right, go on, Eddie.
I feel like it was eventful. It was really cool. One, if anybody got whatever the little tabs were for the missing Gary, please let me see it. I didn't see anybody
that's
post
tight.
it.
Yeah,
So they had like
that
the
was tight.
Gary missing, but they were all ripped out. Like it took me a second to realize because they were all ripped. I was like, huh? I was like, oh, I had the little things to fucking pull out whatever the number or something, whatever it had. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I was wondering why those signs were ripped, dude.
Yeah.
That was weird. I was like, somebody just wanted to rip off the poster and they didn't take it, or what?
Yeah. Number two. Shout out to the Galaxy. I'm joining my Michelob Zero, Ultra Zero right now, but the Galaxy now has athletics.
Okay. Those are good, actually.
Fun.
I do enjoy those, actually. Well,
And I got to try it too.
shout out to SpongeBob, Patrick, and Gary.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malter.
And shout out to everybody who was real kind to us, walking around the stadium. Obviously, it's a family. It feels like a family, right? The Galaxy family, and
Yeah.
it's always nice to see a lot of these people before or after the match. So thank you, everybody, for being so kind.
Yes, of course. Well, let's get into this match. The lineup, I should have had it pulled up, actually. But at top of my head, I believe it was Mikovic at goal. Your two center backs, Maya Yoshida and Miro Garces. Out left, again with another start, Julian Alde. Outright, Mickey Yamane. Your two pivot / CDNs, whatever you want to call them, Edwin Cerrillo, Diego Fagundes. Out left, up top, was Joseph Painsil. Outright, Gabriel Peck. Up top, the nasty man himself, Nascimento. And of course, the legendary Borussia Dortmund as your cam, your quote, number 10, Marco Reus. Any surprises in this lineup?
Nah, not really.
I'm surprised
just
I'm surprised that you and Guti didn't pull up. I heard you guys were Super Weenie Hut Junior.
We were Weenie Hut Juniors, bro. Super Weenie Hut Juniors. For me, I think another Julian Aldes start is kind of telling. We love John Nelson here. We are big John the Rock Nelson fans, but I think it is out of time. And hopefully from here on out, and hopefully to next season, because there's been rumors of him leaving or trying to go back to Argentina. Hopefully we still have him, because I kind of like him starting in his team. This first half, what are some things you guys disliked? What are some things you guys did like? I'm gonna start with you, Edgar.
Well, I just thought it was kind of interesting because I think obviously the two teams were kind of feeling each other out. And I like the fact that LA Galaxy was trying to press them, but um, they had a few chances at the very beginning, and I felt like Eddie and I were talking about it. Like Gabriel Peck had a really good chance, and he does this one thing where he always does, right? Eddie? Where he tries to go to his left, and he tries to curl it out to the far post, and he just couldn't. And you could tell that he's trying a little too hard. That's one thing I didn't like. But there was some pressure there. I was kind of curious to see that DC was kind of sitting back because you think that they have a new manager that would try to go forward and just play, right? Just play for fun. But it feels like they were kind of just waiting to see what LA Galaxy was going to do and maybe try to catch Galaxy on the counter. So that was my early observations. I don't know if Eddie felt the same way, but we did agree on that whole Peck thing, though.
Before you get to your thing, Eddie, I'm gonna give you guys some stats from the halftime for the first half. The LA Galaxy had 58% possession to 42 of DC United, Expected goals 1.52 for the LA Galaxy, 1.55 for DC United. Total shots 14 for the LA Galaxy, 11 for DC United. 5 on target for the LA Galaxy and 3 on target for DC. Big chances 3-2. Big chances missed 1-1. Accurate passes 89% to 84. Fouls committed 5 of their 14. Eddie, what are some of the things you liked and what some of the things that you disliked from this match from the first half?
Some things I did like. So I'm liking that we're doing what we're supposed to, right? You can only play who's in front of you. And Edgar was pointed out that, DC ain't doing shit. And this was the first half, right? Second half's a little different, but I was like, Edgar's like, this is what every team does to the Galaxy. We turn the ball over ourselves. This is what we do. This is how we've been beat. They come straight down the middle and they get us because we are just turning over the ball on our own. And that didn't really happen in the first half. We're very dominant. That's something I did like. It seemed a little different, right? What didn't I like though? It's more of the same. I think the wingers still are acting a little desperate at times. The turnovers were a little higher up the field, um, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed like you have Peck, who's just is forcing a squared peg through a round hole. He wants to hit the same thing that hasn't worked. It was a definition of insanity. Try the same thing and expecting a different result. So that, because I feel it did everyone else a disservice. I think everyone was playing really great, and then they were putting the team in like good opportunities, and the wingers, maybe because they're the DPs, they feel like they have to put the team on their back and do more. But I think they need to buy into everything what everyone's doing, everything that's happening. So that's what I didn't like, and hopefully with time, because now it's starting to show, right, that everybody else can pull their own weight. I think we kind of figured something out too. It's the second. Nothing we didn't mention is second time in a row we have Fagundes starting that position and playing deeper, right, which is great. We've played him in the middle, but never sitting deep, and he's doing really well in that position. So that's definitely, there's more to like in the first half at least. Obviously, the goal, I don't know if we can talk about it, but
yeah. It seemed like a lot of the same recipe from last match, where the other Galaxy seemed very dominant throughout that first half, and they didn't really give the ball up much to DC United for them to try to do anything offensively. Of course, my favorite guy to shit on, Marco Royce, had a spectacular match in the first half. He ends up scoring in the 23rd minute. In a match where the LA Galaxy was being more, they were attempting more to try to get that first goal. And I think the way that Marco Royce put that ball away, it shows his class. It shows that he's a veteran in his game. What a big difference from last season, where I thought he wasn't that good, to where we at now, that he has led the LA Galaxy basically to a back-to-back win. Would you agree with that, Edgar?
I'm gonna keep saying the same thing I said before, where I feel like he plays like he's just having a kick around at the park. And Eddie, it's funny because like I had that image, and Eddie's like, "That's me," and I'm like, "No, I can't get that out of my mind." Like just seeing Eddie, having a kick around with those AYSO kids that are behind us, So, and that's what it feels like. It feels like, but like Royce he wasn't even half trying. He's just like, all right, I'm in position. I'm gonna score. Tor, right? Which means goal in German, by the way. Tor. You missed it.
But the thing is that it's just that, right? Like he is smarter, and I think it just looks that way, right? It's kind of like when people say Messi's just walking around. These guys are just that.
No,
smart,
Messi's not walking around, dude.
No, I mean, but
you can see the gears moving with him, right? When he does things.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like the Marco Royce's case, he slows the game down for himself. There isn't many times where you see him turn the ball over, right? It might be in a chance where he takes a chance trying to thread the needle or put it over the top, right? But like a silly simple pass or something, he doesn't really turn it over. So That's just what it seems like, because he slows the game down. That's what he does.
No, yeah, I wasn't laughing at you. I wasn't laughing at you. I seen one of the comments from match 2408, and he said this shit last time too. We back.
You can't laugh.
We
you
back.
cannot laugh. You can never laugh when it comes to Marco Royce ever again.
I know. I'm not laughing at Marco Royce, and so
you can never. You lost that privilege.
I do want to touch on the whole Marco Royce thing.
Go buy a Marco Royce jersey.
I am. You know what? I have to. I'm going to buy a Galaxy one. He's a legendary player. So I had a conversation before the match with Lewis from There's a House. Make sure you guys go listen to them because they're really good at what they do. And he was saying that last season he didn't look that great because he wasn't fully healthy. It seems that this season he's been able to get healthier from where he was at last season and has been able to produce the way he's been doing. Now, granted, this is a shit season for the LA Galaxy, but in the last 5 matches after the break, they've only had 1 loss, 2 wins, 2 draws. And everything has been going through Marco Royce. And so he's probably at his healthiest with the LA Galaxy right now, which is a big benefit for the LA Galaxy in case they do want to make a run into the playoffs. And it's been
playoffs.
I know it's been beautiful to see a 36-year-old man who I thought was washed shut me up.
We're all older than Marco Royce. I'm gonna remind us every episode.
And I'm older than him, yeah.
But I will counter what Lewis said, right? Shout out to LA's Our House, big friends of ours. But there was games that Royce played great as well last season. There was the Trafico where he was very instrumental in that comeback. One of the playoff games that he was very instrumental too. So those are just a couple games I could think of. But yeah, he played hurt. Like he talked about it at the end. But to say like you never saw it, you guys are just you guys just have PTSD from like older players, coming in and cashing in on this. That's all it is. And you just like you're like you guys are like a glass half full kind of mentality. But
can you blame us?
Want to highlight, like,
I'm not put back.
But can you blame us though? Because last season, I think he only had.
But what I'm telling you is that my only argument here is that he showed glimpses last season. Was it 100% always great? No, but he showed glimpses last year.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna push back. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna push back on the whole thing where like, he's been great all season. No, he hasn't. No, there were times when you could literally see this guy mentally check out, and he was.
I wouldn't say all season either.
No. But most of the season, no. With most of the season, this guy has not been all there. We've seen him. There was this one. Well, I forgot where it was, Kansas City, where like he wasn't even hurt. He just sat on the field and he's like, "I want to get subbed out." He was frustrated, like just like everybody else on the field, but he was just like, "I went out," and he got subbed out. And there are times when you can see this guy mentally check out, and yes, although he's had a long career, and we want to think of him as a very seasoned professional, and who can probably roll with the punches. He's probably never ever been in a situation like this with any of his sports teams, right? Where they've been so inept at so many different levels in so many different ways that you get to a point where you've had enough, and you're like, I just want to sit, right? And he's such a veteran of the sport that maybe he's one of those people that can get away with that. It'd be like, you know what, I don't want to play today. I don't feel good. I'm just not all there, or I'm just not mentally invested. And you can tell it's his body language. But it is true, in the last month and a half, it feels like he's found some new energy, and he's found whatever it is that he found. Maybe it's motivation having Ricky coming back. Maybe it's he finally feels like, okay, the season's a wash. Let me take some of that pressure off myself and just approach every game as an individual on an individual basis, and then go from there and play well. And then once you play well in one match and you play well in another match, all of a sudden you string together like a bunch of good performances. It's like some of the other podcasters that cover Galaxy have been saying, losing is, it's like a slippery slope. It's like quicksand, right? You start losing, you get used to it, and you forget how to win. But the same thing with winning. You start playing well, you start winning. It's like a good feeling. It feels really good, and all of a sudden you want to have that feeling again, and you know what you have to do to get there again, and you do it over and over and over, and then before you know it, you start winning again. I just feel like he's found that nice little spot where he's like, okay, I'm playing well. I don't have to put that much effort in this because my teammates are starting to do things that we need them to do, so they'd be in the right spot so they could score goals and create chances. If only Peck and Painter like slow down and try to let the game come to them instead of trying to force things, then I think things will be okay.
Well, the LA Galaxy goes into the half 1-0. What I think looked like a spectacular first half by the LA Galaxy. Second half. Let
Oh,
me give you.
before
Yeah.
sorry, I wanted to share this. So Eddie and I were sitting there, right? And I was like, hey, hey, Dave Johnson hit me up, right? And I was like, hey, Dave,
Oh,
what do
name
you think of
drop.
what do you think of the match so
Oh.
far, right? And I'm imagining him like he's in some press box somewhere, and I was like, what do you think of the match so far? He's all like, he says, I think there's still a lot to play, all to play, but DC is sitting back too much. And so I see it wasn't just us, I mean, Dave Johnson saw it. They're sitting back too much. And I was like, I'm kind of surprised because um, I feel like they have nothing to lose. Just go out there and be wild and do something. But the one thing Eddie and I noticed at the start of the second half, was that Galaxy defense down the middle look
Ooh.
SAWFT
So,
soft.
Oh, dude. By the way, before we go too far, Edgar, do you mind pointing out the funny thing about it being a SpongeBob night and the ads that we're putting on at the same time when SpongeBob themes are going on?
I don't know what you're referring to because my mind is
the,
somewhere else.
the
But go
the
ahead.
donation the ads for the donations.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's funny because you look at the big ass video board, right? And they have the game in the middle, and then they have ads on the sides, and they have SpongeBob night, on the left, and they have all the cute little fonts and everything, and the theme, and then the right side, Chris Klein's legacy lives on. Do you want to be a sperm donor? I mean, if you're a Galaxy fan and you've attended matches in the last 3 years, 4 years, you know what we're talking about.
that's crazy.
But I've seen visiting supporters. I've sat next to visiting supporters or people that haven't been to games as much when that ad pops up, and you can see them do the double take, but they're like, "What the hell?"
That is hilarious.
All I know is that if you call that number, you go to that website. 20 years from now, you're gonna knock on your door, Dad. Oh no.
we,
From
hey,
the SpongeBob night.
we've all had those rough weeks and considered a career change.
It happened on SpongeBob night.
I do want to apologize for my inaccurate stat telling. The one I gave Eddie earlier was the overall stat. The first half stat was 69% possession for the LA Galaxy to DC's 31. So yeah, we were pretty lopsided in the first half. Now, in the second half, that's where it kind of switched. DC United had 55% of the possession to our 45. Their expected goals were 1.37 to our 0.73, and their pass accuracy was 86 to our 83. So it seemed like in the second half, DC United flipped the switch. They looked a little. They looked like they wanted to try more on the offensive side. Eddie, how did you see that second half to start off? Things that you liked, things that you didn't like.
Well, we started off scoring, which is cool. What a great play too. That was actually one of damn. I wish Painter would have finished that first time. That would have been one of the nicest plays we did all season too, for a goal.
Yeah.
I think it was. Well, actually, no, because that would have been the same combo. Peck to Royce, which he dummies to Paintsill, just like was it last week from Peck to Royce to Paintsill. So that was a good start. Like they were connecting in the beginning. What I didn't like in the second half, and this is something I pointed out to Edgar. So I want to say, and I know Edgar kind of agrees, or it may be starting to agree and starting to see it. The defensive issue, and I've said this for weeks now. Goals, where have they been coming? Down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Down the middle. And then in this game, spoiler alert, might win an award. Thank God for Ramiro Garces.
Yep.
Ramiro Garces was covering ground on both sides, and I turned to Edgar down. They were coming down the middle, and I told Edgar, "Hey, dude, Edgar, you notice that Garces is covering Yoshida's ass right now? Like Yoshida ain't doing shit. He's getting burnt, and every fucking play, and Garces is coming and saving his ass on both sides. Like he's making stops on both sides, his center back position too." Those are things I didn't like. I'm like, Yoshida's legs or what? He's just gassing out or not really, putting in the work. But that's like a big thing I didn't like, and how then all of a sudden when DC scored on us, that
The
we were
pressure.
hanging out for dear life, dude.
Yeah, the pressure that came from after that goal. Edgar, what about yourself? Things you liked, things you didn't like.
No, like I just said, we noticed that the DC started pressing more, and they started running down that middle and creating a lot of havoc. It's unfair that Carlos Emiro Garces had to be running back and forth because he was going to the left, he was going to the right, and then you see like Maya Yoshida at some point. I think he either got tired or he just didn't have the legs to keep up with what DC was doing because surprise, surprise, Christian Benteke didn't start the match.
He did it.
It was body, and so they brought him in the second half, and we were like, oh no, here comes Christian Benteke, right? And it's you could tell that DC was starting to create more chaos in the box, and Maya Shida. I mean, we love the cap. I feel bad. Garces got so much, so much criticism earlier in the season because whatever he's done recently, it's really worked for him. I even told Eddie, um, yeah, he's had to run around a lot, but we haven't really had anything really to say bad about him, and that's what you want as a defender, right? We always say that. Uh, but then, there's only so much you can do, and DC kept knocking on that door, and it was inevitable at some point, and they finally scored. And unfortunately, the man who was caught, was Garces, and
Yeah.
DC scored. They scored a nice goal and made it 2-1. And all
Can
of a
you
sudden,
remind me where that goal came down?
came down the middle, right down Route 1.
Yeah, at the 77th minute, Gabriel Pirani ends up scoring that goal, which looked not easy to defend because I think Garces was covering a lot of ground. In the first half, he looked amazing, clearing off passing lanes and all that. It just so happens that in that particular play,
it was a nice pass.
yeah, it was a nice pass. And I rewatched the replay in the second half here at home, and it seemed that there was a big miscommunication between Garces and Edwin Cerrillo. It looked like after the goal going in, Cerrillo had kind of pointed to Garces like, "Oh, this is what you were supposed to be doing," and Garces pointed at him like, "No, you were supposed to cover him." So there was a little miscommunication there. But then again, your captain should have been in better position to maybe cut off that pass. Maybe I'm tripping by seeing it on the TV. I don't know how you guys saw it live, but that's what it seemed like to me. After that, the LA Galaxy made a couple subs. Lucas Sanabria came in for the nasty man, Mateus Nascimento. Julian Alve came out for John Nelson at the 78. Mauricio Cuevas came in for Mickey Yamane. And even from there on...
Let me ask you guys something.
Yeah,
let me ask you guys something real quick. Those subs, Vanny has done this a few times now where he changes the formation. I know later Ramirez comes back in, so we reset to a normal formation. But when he does like the Royce or Fagundes on top, he does a weird ass formation. How do you guys feel about that formation? That lineup, I guess you say, not formation, because same formation, different lineup.
From what the first half looked like with this team, you would think that if you're going to make any subs, it'd be a man for man, right? You bring in Sanabria for Fagundes or Cerrillo. You bring in Christian for the nasty man, right? You don't take your main player who's been creating everything for you on the offensive side, especially after you just conceded a goal, to make this funky player swap work. I didn't like it, but I mean, I'm not gonna be cool with Vanny anymore.
It's so well. It's not just me then, right? So it's
No,
like
yeah,
it's something
yeah.
that was working in the first half, and then you do this weird ass freaking subs where you're just like scratching your head. It's like the guy that slows the game down for you. You're gonna move him out of position. You're gonna bring in someone. You're gonna bring in another destroyer that just has not been doing well. He's been inconsistent. I don't want to say he has been doing. Sanabria hasn't been doing well, but it's just strange. I don't know the Vanny. I mean, again, we're sitting here. Vanny's, on the sideline, but
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know, man. It's weird. The game was on the line. No, he put that the 3 points in jeopardy, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially after conceding the goal.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. I guess.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's one of those things where they draw it up, right? He draws it up, in his office, and he's like, "Let's check, let's try this out in practice." And they're running drills, and then they try this like during practice, like, "Hey, why don't we switch it up here and see how it works?" And yeah, it might work in practice, right? It might work in theory, but when you put it into a game situation, that's the wrong time to be tinkering, especially when you got those, like you said, those 3 points, are on the line, and you have a team that's really hungry to make anything out of this, and they all of a sudden they get a lifeline. It's 2-1, and dude, let's be honest. DC came so close to scoring on many occasions.
Yeah.
They hit the crossbar. They came close that Mitrovic had to make a good save at one point. There were times when they shot the ball and it was a deflection and the ball just missed the net. It's not like it's not like they made it easy for Galaxy, and Galaxy didn't make it easy for themselves either.
John Nelson came in and got posterized.
Oh God, Johnny.
Yeah, he did though. he did though.
We just have to extend it like Rocky. You're not gonna jump, dude.
No, the little kid is about to get hit with the water balloon. No, yeah.
Back in my day, we called that a tea bag.
By the way, how impressed are you guys with Mikovic now? I think these last 5 matches, and I think we've seen a lot of that from last season where he was able to get some limited minutes, whether it was in League's Cup or like other matches. He had great qualities to be a goalkeeper and to be our starting goalkeeper. John McCarthy was the one that had the starting role last season, but this season, he started up shaky the first game. But these last 5 matches, I think he's been pretty spectacular for the LA Galaxy. Would you guys agree with that?
Well, I mean, look how they played, man. There was a game against St. Louis. I mean, against Salt Lake. Trash. They're trash right now. They played against St. Louis City. Trash. Colorado beat us. San Jose Earthquakes. Yeah, that was nice. Cali Classic, only thing can happen. Vancouver, that was kind of a shock. But then we saw the result in their last game, and you're like, yeah, whatever the magic was there, it's starting to fizzle out right now. They need to like regroup. And then you play against DC United, another team that's trash. So I feel like he's doing well against bad teams, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? Now, I mean, there's a game against Austin, and then they got to play LAFC, Houston, Seattle, and Miami. And that is going to be more telling of how well Mitrovic has gotten in the last few games or the last month or so. But right now, I'm not saying it's nothing bad. It's for him to do well against these bad teams because it's got to build up your confidence, especially after such a long, difficult season, right? It builds up your confidence, and then you head into these matches, not just, like I said, Austin, LAFC, Houston, and then you have Leagues Cup, and after that, then you have the Seattle, Miami matches. But builds up your confidence, so that way, you feel that, a sense of accomplishment, and then you can carry that towards the rest of the season. But real quick, Eddie and I mentioned it at the game. Do we think that JT Marcinkowski will probably show up in Leagues Cup so that Mitrovic gets a well-needed rest? Because we haven't seen Marcinkowski, and who knows, he might be really good.
JT Mike Wazowski.
JT Mike Wazowski. But
you know what, Edgar? With the whole thing with Mikovic, though, too, it's like, yeah, they play shitty teams, but in those last 2 games, he made great saves.
Yeah, he did.
Right? So those are definitely
Against
confident
Vancouver, he made a
boosters.
big one. Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
one, big one, big
And
one.
then the one that he made this week was a deflection. Those are always rough. So I can't take that away from him either. I mean, it's not his fault that he's playing sorry ass teams, but the saves he made were not easy saves.
Yeah, and this is like I mentioned earlier, the record of the LA Galaxy after that break: 2 draws, 2 wins, and a loss. That's not bad to start off the second half of the season. And then you have a goalie who's been playing in those matches gain that confidence. It's not just with him; it's with the whole squad. You see Marco Royce balling now. You see Edwin Cedillo keep doing what he does. You see Diego Fagundes playing out of position, uh, putting in work. It's like he put in his hard hat and does dirty stuff that we probably haven't been used to seeing him do. And so those type of things, and it's puta. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm lying. Nah.
Choking on your own words.
Maybe that continuous confidence from these last 5 matches where they're at a net positive in the second half of the season. They're buying into it now. So the match ends 2-1. The LA Galaxy socando because they gave 9+ minutes at stoppage time, and they came out with the result.
9 minutes later.
Yeah. So
Right.
there is 2 questions that I do want to ask you guys about what's been happening with the LA Galaxy in the second half of the season. What do you think has been the difference? And not just these last 2 matches that are back-to-back wins, but in these last 5 matches, with the form. What do you think has been going on with the LA Galaxy? What do you think Greg Vanney has been telling these guys in order for them to kind of, play where they should be playing, at the level they should be playing?
I'll keep it real simple.
And can his form sustain for the rest of the season?
I'll just keep it real simple. I think things started to change when they started incorporating Mateos Nascimento more into the starting lineup, because I said it many times during the big first half of the season that Christian Ramirez was so slow that it slowed down Peck and Painto. And so they would run up the wings and they would wait for him to get into position. At that point, they're already, their situation was compromised. But now you have Mateos Nascimento. He's quicker and he's got a different mindset. And it opens things up, it frees things up, it stretches the field out a little bit more, and it provides an opportunity for more creativity. I still think Peck and Painto are trying too hard. I feel like Painto's kind of slowing things down a little, but um, the fact that Ricky Puig is back in practice, like you guys said, I think that helps take some of that pressure off. Also, I feel like they're not carrying that weight of like we're the champs and we got to defend the championship, and they didn't get the results that they wanted earlier in the season, and then things fell apart really bad. And I feel at this point they're just playing with no pressure. They're like, all right, the season's a wash. Anything that comes out of this the rest of the way is a positive, is a bonus. So let's make the best out of it. And like I said, approaching every game on an individual basis instead of trying to focus on the season as a whole. Every great journey begins with one step. So take it step by step by step by step, and before you know it, you've made some progress. So hopefully they keep that same mindset. This is me speculating, but that's the way I see it from an outsider's point of view.
Easy.
Eddie?
Fanny looked at them and said, "Si no ganan, no los llevo a Chuck E. Cheese."
That's the ultimate offense, not Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, or Peter Piper's Pizza for my older cats.
Oh, hell yeah. Peter
Chuck E. Cheese. Isn't that where San Diego FC had like their jersey reveal or something?
That's cool. Did like Blink or somebody throw a concert at a Chuck E. Cheese or something like that recently?
It might have been Pantera back in the day.
No, this was recent. Last couple of years. No, literally somebody did it at a Denny's, I think, actually. Somebody. Anyways.
I don't know.
No, but I agree with a lot with what Edgar says. Is them what's his name, Christian Ramirez slowing this offense down, and Nascimento just keeping defenders on their heels and expanding the field for Peck and Painto, and also Royce. Right, opens up space for them to play. So I think that, and then the confidence just growing, and it's you hate to make excuses, but there has been moments in the season where just like fuck, something's got to give, something's got to go right. And I think once things went right, now these guys are like reminded that they can win, how good they are. Just look at it's hard. It's demoralizing, right? How hard did they play against Orlando? And that's the one that stands out to me the most, right? I think I put my guard down and I just kind of like sat in my seat when that free kick was set down. I'm like, oh, this guy's really gonna shoot it from there. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he hit it, and then I was like, oh, all right. And I kind of just like, I was like, I can catch it from here, And then fucking
Yeah,
McCarthy does what he did and ended up losing that game. So things like that were happening, and I think once things like that stop happening and we put a couple wins together and or other results and better performances together, I think that helps. And as far as sustaining it, I think so. I think it only gets better from now. I think Nasi still has more to show us. I think Fagundes is going to adapt to that role more, and we still haven't seen the best or the 2024 versions of Peck or Painto come out. So I think it should get better. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath.
yeah.
I don't dare say the P word. I don't think we're going to make it, but I think it should get better.
Well, I'll be delusional. Nah. So maybe a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned that the possibility for this team to win out would be something crazy to think about. I know we only have one loss in 5 matches, but my prediction of being a delusional fan is playing out. And like Joel 13 Cool said, one of the biggest changes has been Marco Royce. Marco Royce has 5 goals and 7 assists this season, has been nothing but stellar. And in these last 2 matches, the fact that he's been able to score in these last 2 matches, gives him confidence. And there's a quote that I think he was the one that said it himself, that we forgot how to win. Now they got the taste of winning back-to-back matches. The sustainability of this team moving forward to keep this form is obtainable. And I think it could be something that they could keep working on. And nasty is nasty, bro. it gives me hope to find that we found a forward to replace what Dayan was doing with this team for next season. We can talk about championships next season, because also we have Ricky Pooch back, and I think that's also going to inject some type of energy into the locker room, knowing that he's going to be able to be in practice and join the team. So it looks like it's on the way up right now. So I'm really happy with what they're doing now. Hopefully they don't lose on Wednesday badly and then lose on Saturday badly, because then we're gonna be back here talking mad shit like we've been doing all season. So hopefully it's not anything of that. Yes, Edgar.
By the way, something that made me laugh. You put things into perspective. Just how bad has DC United been, right?
Yeah.
How bad have they been? They've only won 1 game since early May.
Oh shit. Hey, but we're doing what we got to do. We got to put the teams away that we got to put away. By the way,
They won yesterday.
Yeah, DC United's kit that's a gorgeous kit.
I told you, right, Eddie?
Yes,
it's a really nice kit. It's like the
really
soul
nice
kit. It's really nice.
But that stupid shit you're wearing, Eddie. Anyway.
It is.
The one with this patch on it?
Ooh.
Oh, fuck all that. I like your hat though, Edgar.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's get to our favorite part of the show, the awards. You know what? I'm gonna make a little jingle for it, and maybe we can use it later on. We'll do something. We'll start off with probably the hardest one, the Game is Soft, the classic Geo Award. Edgar, I'm gonna start with you first. Whose game was off last night?
Yoshida.
we just talking about him. The hardest one? No.
Yoshida. Yeah, Eddie and I were talking about it during the match. We were talking about it before we came on, and I'm talking about it right now. I don't know if it's like the strain from a long season that's been pretty emotional for a lot of people, and we're in the middle. We're in summer. We haven't hit the dog days of summer yet, but it's summer, and if you're not accustomed to summers in the U.S., then playing these matches gets to you. But I just feel like Maya is.
checked out.
We love Ayashida. I just feel like he hasn't been in the right headspace the entire season. We've seen him play well in some games, but um, having him come back was really nice. We came back in the match against Herediano, I remember, but shortly after he came back, Herediano scored a goal, and I'm like, oh damn. But I don't know. I just feel like Maya needs either some rest or they need to
Pay him more
figure something out. I don't know. He's only here for one more season, right?
this season. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie, do you think that the pay cut may have had something to do with how he's
I
performing
do.
on the pitch?
I do. I just talk about your own careers and your own jobs. Imagine having put in the best work you ever done your whole life, and then your boss is like, "Hey,
I'm gonna
thanks,
deduct you
great job.
$5 an hour.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose $5 an hour. Oh,
All right.
but I thought I did great. I mean, do you still want to work here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would that make you feel? Do you think you're gonna put up the same performance you did the year before?
No,
It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard to get up to and want to do it again.
And like from us from the outside, his pay cut may be something that we aspire to, but like Eddie said, like you had a great season last season, you won a title. You're cutting my check.
It also doesn't help that somebody new comes on, like Zonka, and is making
Zonka.
more than you, and he's
Yeah.
not playing. It's like, all right, now we're gonna bring in the boss's son, and he's gonna make more than you, and then you have to work on the weekends, but this fool gets the weekends off. It
Yeah.
sucks. All that shit sucks. I would feel that it would factor in.
That is a great perspective. They didn't want to take it there, but yeah. Well, actually, I was the one to ask the question.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give, because Edgar reminded me of something. I think a major BJ is deserved here.
Ooh, I love BJs. I love Bad Job.
Go for it.
It's,
The Bad Job Award. Yes, let's go.
But this is going to be non-Galaxy. The FIFA president, you get a major BJ.
Man.
Dude, it's so fucking hot. We're going to move into indoor stadiums. Yeah, you fucking bitch ass. You'll change a whole fucking World Cup to the winner for another country, but we can't play evening games here?
You
in prime time.
Get the
That's what I'm
ultimate
saying.
BJ.
Yeah, what a little bitch. Sorry, I had to. Hold on. Look, hold on, Krusty.
Little
Don't let me down.
Say it, Krusty.
Yeah, perfect.
We shall clip that.
That's for
Well,
you, FIFA president. What's
yeah.
his name? Bitch ass.
Bitch ass. I think we're all in agreement. Chewy, do you agree with the Geo Award? Maya Yoshida.
Yep, I do agree.
Thank you, Ollie.
It's raining.
For the honorable mention, the You've Got Heart Man Award. Eddie, who had heart this weekend?
Who had heart? Should I give it to the old man again? I'll give it to the old man again. Old man Marco Royce, right? The guy's got an old heart, but is still beating. Right? He pulled the strings in the offense. We get 2 goals. He was involved in both of them. Maybe not the cleanest, not the most direct involved, but he was definitely involved in both of them. So, Marquito Ruiz, you get it.
He's Latino now, Ruiz. Edgar, my bad.
The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be.
Ain't what
She used to. Just kidding. The little old guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's it.
His little cholo walk. No, I was gonna say Mateos Nascimento. I feel like he's, like I said, he's unlocked so much, and obviously he was a big contributor in this match. He didn't score, but I will share something interesting. Dave Johnson texted me.
Share with us.
The match. He was like, Galaxy's on a roll. You have talent there, and I think he's referring to Nascimento because it was like one of the things that he was one of the players that we talked about during the midweek show, and what a big difference he's been for the Galaxy. So, hopefully, we get to see more and more of him, and he continues to evolve and score more. So, by the time his loan ends, we can look at it and see like this is worthy of an investment for next season. But we still got a ways to go. So
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it to a player who's been playing out of position, and it's Diego Fagundes. The fact that he has been assigned to a different role that he's used to, and like I mentioned earlier, put on his hard hat and just went to work. I rewatched the second half and the replays, first half. Um, he is out of his element and he's doing his best, and I think he's been killing it at his best. May not be the other center defensive mid that we need in this team right now, but he is, I think, better than what we have on the reserve, which is Lucas Sanabria, who we thought would have been that filler for Delgado. In these last two matches, Diego Fagundes has filled somewhat that role that Delgado left. And on top of that, he's scoring. So, Diego Fagundes, I think you've done an amazing job in that position. And then hopefully this continues in order for the Galaxy to keep that form and give my delusion some credit or some hope and make the playoffs and win it again in 2025. Chewy, who is your honorable mention?
Yeah, you actually got that. Also, Diego Fagundes, man, he played pretty good. He was there in the right spot where he was supposed to get that rebound, and get us that 2-0 at that moment.
Hey, low key, that finish to put it in that threaded needle hole, dude. The goalie almost got to that, and he put it right where.
Luke Skywalker shit, bro.
Yeah, it was. You sandbagged me, bro, or whatever.
Fucking Death Star.
Yeah, dude, it threading the needle. It was a good goal. Now let's move on to the most prestigious award in all of MLS. The next
trophy, Eddie?
The next standing player of the match. Just imagine there's a trophy right here with the NAG logo. Eddie, who was your next standing player of the match?
So I'm gonna give another 2 next standing player of the matches.
Go ahead.
One un-Galaxy related, and the other one Galaxy related. You know what? 3. 2 Galaxy related.
Let's do the unrelated one first.
Unrelated?
Unrelated first.
Shout out to whoever put together the Club World Cup fucking halftime show. I thought it was unique. I thought it was awesome. It might have sucked to be there because it was so high up, but it was pretty dope. And it was J Balvin, so that was cool. And friends. And
J Balvin and friends.
Yeah. Number 2. The fucking, you gotta give credit when it's due, man. The people that work at the Galaxy that had a hand in the SpongeBob night job, because I've complained about the theme nights, like what the fuck is so Star Wars about this, and all that. There was a pineapple under the sea, bro.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like the graphics were very SpongeBob-y, and it was just there was the little interactive Gary missing signs were all over. So it was cool. It was SpongeBob night. It was a success. I'm not even a kid, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And I got that late.
You're not?
Kid at heart doesn't count, unfortunately. But yeah, so that, and then my actual next standing, I talked about him. Spoiler, Metal Garces. I don't think we're talking about a win, dude. If it wasn't there, he was picking up the slack, and he was kind of playing a man down in that position. And there was a play that I wanted to save till the wartime where he tackles Benteke, and he stands over him and gives him, I'm barking. I'm over there with my, insert Denzel with the cigarette gift. So yeah, Emilio Garces was a next standing, outstanding, que chulada. And he's bouncing back, from a rough start in the season.
100%. I do want to give shout out to the LA Galaxy media people who, when they posted stuff about like goals and stuff, it was like SpongeBob thing and shit. Yeah. Dude, I thought that was hilariously and beautifully done. So shout out to you guys. Yeah. It was really cool. Yeah, I fuck with that. Edgar, who was your next standing player of the match?
Marco Royce. I felt like even though he's just there for the kick around, he scored an important goal. And remained the threat throughout most of the match. Um, and he in a game where we had two teams that have been pretty bad the whole season, and with DC United not having Christian Benteke from the very beginning, I feel like Marco Roche was the biggest difference for Galaxy in this match. And so for him to capitalize on his opportunity and just set things going for them, he continues to do the right things in the last few matches, and that's been so vital for this team. So next standing for me.
Yeah, I also want to give some Marco Royce to add on to what you said. There was this because I caught it on TV after, earlier today, and there was this moment where after he scored, which was a beautiful goal by the way, a scramble, but the way that he kicked it, um, inside foot, and it kind of like did this little lob thing where the goalie guessed it right, but because he hit it so perfectly, it went right under his arm. After that, you get the ball, you have to bring it back to the center of the pitch. There was a moment where Marco Royce was talking to Diego Fagundes and Edwin Cerrillo and kind of dictating all this, like, oh, this is where I need you to, whatever it was. I couldn't fully lip read, but I think that type of leadership and what he has brought to the LA Galaxy these last two matches has been very important. And this is the type of player that we did sign on for. The player that I thought was going to be here for 2024. We might have seen glimpses of it, but right now in this last stretch of 5 games, I think we're seeing the actual Marco Royce that we have at a TAM. Imagine that at a TAM, this legendary player from Borussia having this type of 5 game stretch. Well, it's been beautiful, and for that, I give him the next standing player of the match. Chewy, who's your next standing player of the game?
I guess. Well, I'm gonna go a little different than you guys. Somewhat, sort of, close to what Eddie said. But for me, it was Alde. Alde was just. I feel Alde was solid. We've been giving him props. You know that he basically took back his spot from Nelson, and I just think he's been solid. He played solid this game. Yeah, I think he's made a big difference and a really good comeback. And for me, he deserves the next standing.
Yeah, that I did want to kind of ask you guys about Alde. If he stays healthy and continues this form of play, do we keep him? Would you want this to be your future left back? Because I know John Nelson's on he's getting older, right?
He's
Julian,
getting older.
in comparison to Julian Alde.
Well, yeah, I mean, Julian Alves is a lot younger, but I think Galaxy's in a good position to hopefully have both of them together for as long as possible because they offer you two different versions of playing that position. Like you have the luxury of having a guy who's a stay-at-home defender, and usually he's rock solid, right? The Rock, and then he's had a few hiccups here and there, but he's pretty reliable. And then you have Julian now, that guy who's still learning to play his position, but we know he's not afraid to go up the wing and create some chaos up the sides, and maybe even get involved in the offense. How many teams can say that they have that in with a couple players? So I like having both of them for as long as we can. I know one of them's going to start over the other, but being able to platoon them uh, and have them there available for whatever situation you need them. Maybe in one game you just want to, play a little bit more conservatively. You put out Nelson. Maybe it's another match. You're like, hey, let's take it to these guys right from the get go. You put out there. So
But it just so happens that in back-to-back wins, Julian Alde has started this season. Just saying. Just saying.
Digo, no digo.
Another 3 points for the LA Galaxy in a beautiful played match. Once again, looking like the 22-4 LA
it was
Galaxy.
beautiful. they got away with one.
For like, let's say 80 minutes of it. Well, before they conceded a goal.
47 minutes.
40.
Yeah, I'll give him 47 minutes.
Let's say 53. 53 minutes. They played beautiful soccer.
Fine. 53, but remember all the stoppage out of 112 minutes.
Yeah. They get away this weekend with 3 points against a classic rival. If you guys have been there since '96, we hate those guys, but we also respect them. They're the second most winningest club in MLS. You can see in their jerseys they have 4 stars, and they also have a CONCACAF Champions Cup. They have a couple. Well, they have a show. They have, what was that only trophy that they had? The Internacional Cup.
No, yeah, it was a tournament that was played between the CONCACAF Champions Cup champion and the Copa Libertadores champion, and they beat Vasco da Gama the year that they won the Copa Libertadores, and then for whatever reason the tournament was disbanded. This is a tournament that had gone back many decades, and so at the end, uh, DC United like had the trophy, and they're like, I guess we're not going to give this trophy back because there's no more tournaments, so we're going to keep it. So they kept the trophy.
That's nice.
It's like if like for some reason or other the NHL were to stop playing games, and whoever the last Stanley Cup champion was, they're like, I guess we get to keep the cup. They just keep it there forever.
So it just goes to show to everybody that has been a naysayer about what MLS was in its early years. Remember, a early year DC United beat a Vasco da Gama who has won a very good tournament, and they've been around for hundreds of years before MLS started. So just keep that in mind when you try to shit on the older teams of MLS. There were some good teams here. But anyway, on to Saturn news. Oh wait, not Saturn, but go ahead, Edgar.
Shoot, get back to me because I was gonna mention something and I just slipped my mind. But go
on. Before we get to the midweek show, if we're gonna have anybody else, Eddie, we are sad to hear that you will not be on for an extended period of time. The floor is yours if you'd like to say your parting words for whatever time you're gonna be off.
I've been traded, guys.
There
was no questions. Am I gonna like
no. So there was no question. So
we're trading Eddie to Happy Foot, Sad Foot. We're getting the Sad Foot instead of him.
So thank you to everybody who didn't submit questions today.
Sad for sad. No, it's just I'm grateful for like these last 10 years. Being a part of NAG is something that's fun and one of my greatest creations because I don't got kids, so this is one of my greatest creations, and it's just as you know, I'm on my own little journey right now, and I just think this is a time where I need to dedicate more time to myself and focus on some things that I still need to accomplish. And this isn't goodbye. This is smell you later. But I'm always gonna be around. I'll definitely be around the stadium, be in communication with these guys still. It's just more. I gotta free up my Sundays. I need to do that for a while. But with time, when everything settles, you'll see me around. So it's nag you later.
There you go, nag you later. Well, we'll miss you on the show, bro, and we love you over here, bro. Anyway. Moving on to the midweek show. Edgar, do we have anybody lined up that we could talk shit to that are from Austin?
No. No. It's Austin is always a very weird situation because, God, there's like 4 or 5 Austin pods, and there's like 3 of them that are pretty. They're pretty serious, right? They're like very well considered like one of the better pods, and I don't know what the hell is up with those guys because I've hit them up for years, and they either say yeah, we'll do it, and then they flake, or they never respond, and I'm like, what the hell? Like every other pod in the league is like, yeah, man, let's work. We've had like 3 different guys for LAFC come on, right? We had the San Diego guys come on, and they're new. We've had, Dave Johnson from DC. We've had, different people, come on. And for some reason or other, nobody from Austin wants to come on here. And so I'm like,
man, I'm glad Brandon Vasquez got hurt. Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just playing.
You know what it is, bro? They're peanut butter and jealous. They hate us because they hate us. What the
fuck? So tune in on Tuesday night. You're going to see me talking to myself for like 2 hours.
If it's like that, I'll join you, Edgar, if we're not able to get
we'll definitely get a ref report going or something and talk crap about the ref for an hour.
It's you and I, Edgar. We'll take on the world.
Just do a Monday Night Raw recap.
Yeah.
Probably will.
Somebody at the game after the game asked me the same question. Hey, you guys have an awesome pod lined up? I'm like, man, not yet. And he's like, just call up Diego Fagundes. Have him come on. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I'll just call him up right now.
Shoot it. Shoot your
Hey,
shot.
by the way,
Diego Fagundes. Hello? Yeah? You're not doing anything? All right, come on, let's go. There, Diego Fagundes will be on.
by the
He
way,
said no Eddie, no deal. Puta.
Oh,
since all the Galaxy players love listening to our podcast because we never talk shit, you guys are more than welcome to come on the pod. So the other Galaxy wins. Eddie, we're gonna miss you. Austin podcast. Hopefully, you guys respond.
Suck it.
So for tonight, I think it's been a good talk. It's been a lot of stuff going on in the world, especially here in Los Angeles. But just remember this: love thy neighbor, be kind to everybody, and don't be an asshole because assholes stink like shit.
Yeah. And I'll go out with this. Fuck Trump and fuck you if you fucking believe and voted for everything that's happening right
Yeah,
now. Right?
I agree
And if
with
you don't
that.
like
100%.
if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. Unfollow us, unfollow me. I don't need you. I don't want you. There's no $sign that is enough for me to need your fucking like. So
Yep,
eat
because
it.
we got 2 words for you. Suck it. Anything else before we leave? If not, this is just another episode for News Across the Galaxy. Edgar, where can the people find you?
y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Edgar Nags. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
It's a nice story. I'm sorry. I want. Let's go out on a positive note.
I
After
like
the
it.
match, I got an opportunity to interview a father and son who came all the way from Borussia. And so, I mean,
That's just cool.
they're from Germany, and they were here on holiday. What did you say, Eddie?
He said, Das ist gut,
Das ist,
aber es makes me
Das
water.
is
das ist
good.
good.
Yeah. So they came all the way from Germany on holiday to watch the match, and um, it just turns out that somebody from Lars met them before the match, and they got to hang out with Lars during the match, and then after the match, the father and his other Borussia fan from Maryland got a chance to meet Marco Roche. You can actually see that exchange between Marco Roche and those two fans on their social media, where Marco Roche signed an autograph for one of them, and the guy ran around the pitch like like he was really excited. But I got to interview both the father and son after the match, Sven and Lenny. Really nice guys. They were just really excited to be there, very, very happy and jovial. They did have some questions about why it was so quiet because they were like, we thought it was going to be louder with the drumming and the chanting. And I kind of explained things to them, and they're like, okay, we get it, we get it. But they said it felt like they're with family, which is something that you always want to see. I know there's rivalries in MLS, right? But I've noticed that a lot of Galaxy fans are very open-minded. They're very open to welcoming visiting supporters in, and visiting supporters find that as something that's really nice. They feel comfortable, and then there's exchanging of like friendship, and then you make these friendships that really become valuable when you go on the road and you visit them. It happened with St. Louis. We've seen it happen with other visiting supporters from Atlanta. So this goes to show treat everybody with respect, and you'll get respect in return most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Unless it's a rivalry California team, I think for the most part, we don't really punch everybody else. It's only the
Yeah.
locals. It's only
But
locals.
that interview is up on my Instagram. Like I said, my Instagram offers stuff that's completely different from what you see on Twitter. So check it out. You can also check out all the old Galaxy stuff that I have on there to remind you of how great this team was just 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and
Well,
how fun it was.
Well, where can they find you? Give me
Edgar Nags on Instagram, Twitter. Love you guys. I'll see you there.
and Blue Sky. Eddie,
And Blue Sky. Yes.
I know they can't find you anywhere because you're a ghost,
Yeah,
but
they can. Yeah, no, it's all good. I'll put it out there now. So you can find me Instagram, if you're looking to move somewhere in the San Fernando Valley, more specific, Van Nuys, as Eduardo Camp _. See, those are things I'm focusing on. Or you know what? Like I said, I'm always a very big advocate for mental health. If you just need someone to talk to, someone even to hear you out, all judgment free. Nothing is any problem is not too small, any problem not too strange, because if it's a problem or something's bugging you, it's real. So don't let that change. And then one of my stress relievers will be video games. So you can catch me as Eddie Nags on Twitch, right? Watch the Nag Boys,
Suck at every video game.
suck. Well, Chewy and Guti are actually pretty good, but myself and Willis, well, we have fun. Right? So come watch us. And yeah, the world is crazy. I'm hoping that there's better days ahead of us. I know that's something I'm working on. So I'll leave you guys with this. Don't be sad, because sad backwards is das, and that's not good.
Thor.
You can find me as Brian Nash.
Oh, wait. We got a super chat.
Oh, we do? When is the midweek show? Oh, Tuesday.
Tor. If we have a midweek show, it should be
That
Tuesday.
is gold. That is gold.
It all depends on Austin, and I mean, even if there's no Austin, we might have a midweek show just to go over the referee and talk crap about the ref. I don't know. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Adam's always hooking it up, bro. You're the
Thank you so much, Adam.
You can find me as Bryant Nags, Bryant_Nags on Instagram and Twitter. Chuyaso. Last but not least, because this time I did not forget to mention you, unlike last week. Chewy, where could the people find you?
You guys can find me as Chavez JA, Chavez Ha on all my social media. It's pretty easy, pretty simple to find.
Hey! And that's it from us at News Across the Galaxy. We're out of here from Edgar, Eddie, Chuyaso, and myself, Bryant. We're up out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, keep on nagging. And like Edgar likes to say, Wu-Tang for life, baby. And that forever. And keep on nagging. Keep on nagging.